And you're now listening to TLKinfamous.
Hey guys, welcome back to TLKinfamous. My name is Socially. We got Saint here.
What's up?
And we got the infamous Egypt.
Hey everybody.
Also known as ModernIcon. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling excited. I'm excited to be here with y'all, and it's been a while. So
Yes. It's been a while since we all catch up.
Yes.
But first, we got to do a drip check. So that's how we start off all the time.
Okay.
You got to know head to toe what you got rocking.
Oh Lord. Okay. So my hair is from my hair company that I stopped selling hair now, but it's from my hair company. This shirt is from an Instagram boutique. I honestly don't know. My pants are Supreme, and my sneakers are Rick Owen and Converse collab. And these rings they actually say pay black women. I don't know if you can see them, but I wear them all the time because they're just so dope to me, and it's something I really like. And I got these from like some Instagram boutique too, like 4 years ago, but I just always wear these
Let me see
rings.
the nails. We don't usually do nails, but we got to see
These are my nails. I got this little cow skin French thing going on. It just went with my aesthetic today, so.
It's fire.
Yeah, thank you.
But for those who don't know, we all went to high school with each other.
Yes, we did.
Yes, performing art school at that.
Uh-huh.
So we just thought it would be a great episode just for us to rehash and just talk about some things as far as high school,
Friendships,
relationships, how we all evolved, and of course we had to get into Egypt and what she's been up to. A woman of many, many talents. But we know that you go by the ModernIcon on Instagram. So we want to know what makes you an icon and what do you define? What defines an icon to you?
Well, I think when people think of icons, they think of people that are legendary and people that did something that mattered. And I'm a firm believer in people treat you how you treat yourself. So honestly, when I first gave myself the name, I didn't really know the meaning behind it. I just knew it was special. And then as the years kind of went by, I understood it more and I started living more like a modern icon, if that makes sense. But for me, I just think that in all of my years of creating businesses and stuff like that, I've kind of created my own lane and non-conforming to certain things, and I just started doing things my own way and how I thought it should be done, and I just feel like I was an icon in my own right. So that's how I treat myself, and that's how I want people to treat me. So and it's just modern day. So that's kind of how that.
I like the little spin to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like you said, it's kind of like manifesting, you growing.
Yeah, I unknowingly manifested it because I did not plan that at all. It was actually on a sweatshirt. I got that name in high school, and it was on a sweatshirt, and they might sue me for the name, but I'm gonna trademark it. But it was on a sweatshirt, and I just grabbed it and stuck.
If they ain't trademark it, it's
by now it's mine.
Right. But you also, I think you've been a little spin to it. You're the female Diddy.
Not the female Diddy.
I love that too.
Tell us more about this.
Yes.
Okay, so for years I was the hood Oprah. Because,
yes, you were.
Yeah.
Yo, you got the best Instagram. I'm not gonna lie. Your names be fire.
So for years I was the hood Oprah because everybody knew me in the hood, and they knew I had businesses, and a lot of them, everybody knows Oprah to be that girl when it comes to everything. So I took that, I ran with it. And then recently, just as I got more into entrepreneurship and seeing more money and being able to help people make money, and that's what I feel like Diddy does very well. Like, he puts people in positions to boss up, and me doing my marketing and stuff now and my brand building, I'm able to put people in positions to make money. And I was like, somebody called me that a while ago, and I just I let it go. And then the other day, somebody wrote me like, yeah, you really the female Diddy. I'm like, y'all calling me that. I'm gonna call myself that. And I posted it, and everybody started liking it. It was like, nah, you really the female Diddy. I was like, okay.
So it's like you moving into a new era.
Yeah, that's what it seems. I feel like I'm in my Egypt era now. I feel like the ModernIcon is kind of, she's done her thing and people know her, but I feel like now I'm kind of evolving into my grown woman of me being Egypt.
We're going to get back to that.
A whole new stage.
Yeah.
So I want to know, let's take it back to the beginning. What was your ambitions when going to high school?
Performing art school.
Right. Get it right.
Acting and dance. I went to performing arts high school for acting and dancing. That's what I went there for. Yeah.
And how do you feel like that panned out for you, like the whole experience?
The acting was doing really well. I started off doing extra work, which everybody does in New York City. So I did some stuff with Netflix and things like that. And then I kind of just got really into my entrepreneurship, and I stopped because it's time consuming. Acting is very time consuming. You're on set for long amounts of times. You don't know when you're getting off. And it was kind of conflicting because I'll be on set and somebody want to buy something and I don't know when I'm leaving. So I'm like, I'm missing money trying to make this little bit of money, and I could be making way more. So I kind of had to weigh my pros and my cons. But I am definitely getting back to acting. It's funny that you asked me that. I've been working diligently getting back to acting. I can't talk about some things, but yes, I'm definitely back into acting now.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Do you feel like being in high school, like the experience there was kind of like nurturing that talent, or do you feel
Absolutely
like
not. No, I'm just playing.
no, let's get into it. Come on. We all been to the same high school, so we know what it is. We know what it is.
Nurturing? No. Do I feel like for performing arts high school, was it really arts like focused?
No.
Absolutely not. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
How about this? Did you feel like it served you? Like, did you get anything out of it that you felt like maybe I did have to go through this school?
Not in regards to the art, so to speak. Maybe like
not even
life
art, just
lessons. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, maybe life lessons, but like what I went there for, absolutely not. But
Right.
other things in life, definitely.
What was your biggest takeaway
From high school?
Yeah.
I learned that life is short. I learned that time flies really fast. And I think it also taught me not to sweat the small things, but I didn't learn that at high school. I learned that later on in life because like when I thought about some things from high school, it seemed like a blur and I couldn't really remember it. And like certain things you'd be like me and Leah. And
Yeah.
I couldn't put my finger on why we fell out.
She felt the same thing.
I said the same thing.
Like I'm just like I can't remember why. Like I know we was friends. I know Leah still got my grill at her house. Hopefully.
oh shoot! I forgot about that grill.
But I was just like I can't remember why. And when you think about stuff like that, it's like why would I even be mad if I can't remember what happened?
Right.
And then you realize like time flies. High school feels so long ago.
It feels like a minute. It feels so long, but also feels so short. It's
It feels
crazy.
so long on social. And when you're in high school and you start freshman year and they be like, these 4 years will fly by you, you don't realize until them 4 years really fly by you. And it's just like, it's over. And life starts.
Yeah. So with that being said, because, you know, one of the biggest things about high school is like, at least for us, now that you look back at it, you are very much being like social and, you know, building relationships and friendships. You think that's a major, like an important part of the high school experience. So with that being said, like, how do you think what was your relationship with like building relationships and friendships and like, yeah, like what was that? So
it was rocky.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. It had its ups and its downs. I think with anything, you know, just being in that age bracket, you're still kind of figuring yourself out. You're figuring out what you like and don't like in people and yourself and how to, you know, deal with different personalities.
like, what did friendships look like to you though?
In high school or now?
Like then,
in high school,
in high school.
In high school, it was all about loyalty for me because, you know, I'm not going to say I'm confrontational, but I'm very strong-minded. And I was raised on that. I was raised, you know, if your cousin don't like this person, you don't like that person. And your friend don't like this person. So that's what I was raised on. And in high school, sometimes, you know, it would be a situation of like, well, they didn't do nothing to me. So why do I got to be mad at them? And then I was just like, well, they don't like me. If you don't want to be mad with me, then you don't like me. But, you know, as you get older, I realized that those people really didn't owe me nothing. Mm-hmm. As opposed to like a friendship now in my adulthood, it's a little more intense. But back then, for sure, it was we were really young.
Definitely.
It shouldn't have been that heavy, but it was.
Right. Was there any relationships that you could probably reflect in the back of your head and be like, like you said, you did say that you don't even know how we stopped talking, right? Was there any relationships or friendships that you think that, okay, maybe I could have did things different, or maybe you're just content with now because sometimes people grow apart?
Right.
Do you reflect on that time?
Like I said, it's hard for me to remember certain details about high school. Even some people, like when I see them, I be like, you know how you feel like you know somebody, but you're like, I don't know where I know them from.
Yeah.
Until somebody be like, oh, they went to school with you. And I be like, oh, they went to my school. Like it's really blurry. I think I said I know what happened most of the time. The only relationship I was really confused about was me and Leah. Everything else, I know why. And I know, and I'm okay with it.
Right.
Let me look at you. I'm okay with it. But that was the only thing I just really could remember because I don't remember us having like an altercation or a falling out. I think it was like a third party thing. I don't think it was direct with us.
It definitely wasn't direct. Now, I will say like when we came into the conversation of getting you on to our podcast. I was like, this is crazy. Me and her haven't spoke for years, and I felt like, wow, like this would be great. I want to see what she up to. But also it was like we never even had a conversation that kind of concluded what would happen or what happened and stuff. It was kind of we just went our separate ways. And I was watching a few videos and I came across this word called splitting. Right? And splitting when it comes to relationships means, let's say this person gets you tight. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna block this person. I'm not talking to her. I'm going about my way. A lot of people do that.
Right.
That's what they call splitting. When you stop talking to somebody, you know what? They grown, we grown. Do any of y'all, do y'all think like sometimes that we are too quick to split?
For me, I'm gonna say for my thing, I don't think I split. I think for me, my issue has always been, I don't think it's an issue. I see the good in a lot of people. You even know, like from high school, I was cool with everybody. I didn't really have no issues with nobody. Because for me, I've always like tried to see people for who they are, the good and the bad. If I see something that I don't really like, then I know, okay, I'm not taking a relationship there. You know what I mean? I feel like I just have the tendency sometimes, especially if I know you for a long time, I definitely allow things to like pass by, like, and I don't really like address stuff.
The situation.
I mean, I think I address it, but I think I tend to be forgiving. That's what it is.
Are you like a time heals kind of person?
I'm a forgiving person. That's what I would say. I'm a forgiving person. So I think I tend to forgive people, and I'm not. I wish sometimes I was that person who was just like very black and white about situation and just like I'm done. Yeah. But I care too much about the people in my life to just be like. But I feel like
to cut ties.
Certain relations, it is important to cut ties, especially not only in friendships but in family too. Yeah.
Sometimes it can be draining.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I'm now learning to pick and choose my battles because I cut people off very quick. One more thing, and I'm just like, when I feel like when people show you who they are, you have to believe them. And I feel like sometimes we give people the benefit of the doubt when they really don't deserve it. And you just give them another chance to disappoint you. And that could be in friendships, so it's not just relationships.
Right.
And, sometimes we'll say, let me try this out again. And then you're back in the same stint. And you're like, I should have followed my first mind and I follow my gut. Whatever my spirit tell me to do, that's what I do. I think it's easy to differentiate between when somebody made a mistake, when somebody's really showing you their character. And I'm a quick splitter. Yeah, I split. Have I ever regretted it? Yes, I have. Only a few times though.
Yeah, and have you feel like when you regretted it, and was there any way for you to return and take it back, or you feel like I just made peace with that decision?
I have to really, really care. And it's a very small amount of things that I really, really care. But it's like I have to really, really care because, now you're in a sense where you got to put your pride to the side and ego to the side because you messed up. So it's like, I got to go back. I got to apologize.
You don't know how they're going to take that, too.
I got to tell them I was wrong. I don't like saying stuff like that.
I'm dead.
Like,
I want to go back to what you said about trusting gut. I think that's one thing I've learned, too, like, especially in relationships and friendships. You got to trust your gut when you feel like something's wrong in those situations. Like, for me, like I said, being that I am a forgiving person, what I'm learning is I could be forgiving, but I need to learn how to set boundaries if I feel like something's not right. That's why I said that's one thing I need to go to therapy for.
Well, you could forgive from a distance.
And that's what I'm learning how to do. Like, forgive from a distance. I don't have to be like
angry.
We don't have to, not even about being angry, but like I said, I would still like put myself in that same energy with the person, especially when it's like family and stuff like that. You feel like you got to go to the same events and stuff like that. So I never put that distance. And like you said, if you don't put that distance in, you leave yourself in a space of being disappointed again. Yeah. So I'm learning how to have that distance, have those boundaries, because like you said, you could be forgiven, but it's like
setting those boundaries.
Yeah.
In terms of like the splitting, right? Like I split from people and it'll be like 2 years at a time sometimes, right? I don't know. I do feel like time heals. I do believe in that sentiment to an extent. So sometimes I'm like, you know what? Let me hit this person up. Let me see where their head is at. Let's see if our energy's matching at the same time, because also sometimes you do have to split. Sometimes that serves the relationship. You have people that are in, intimate relationships and they take breaks. Sometimes that space is needed. This way you guys can realign the different stage you're at. Because when we was in high school, we stopped talking on, I wouldn't even, like, of course it was lack of communication, but we was we had our different perceptions and we was at a different space at a time. So it kind of just separated over time. Do you feel like you could split from somebody and then possibly, reunite the relationship or ignite the relationship?
In friendships, yes. In relationships, no.
There is a difference. There is a difference.
In relationships, absolutely not.
You said that. You're going to have to explain why you feel like that.
In friendships, I feel like, it's a friendship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you might grow apart. You're going through different parts of life, and it's a different type of situation. Now, in a relationship, I feel like when you decide to be in a serious relationship with somebody, I feel like that's a partnership. And I feel like when you're in a partnership, you have to grow and go through things together. I feel like it's a cheat code. I feel like it's an easy way out. When you separate and feel like you have to grow on your own, I feel like that takes away from the relationship. Now, there's a difference between growing and, evolving or going through some, like, really terrible stuff and being like, oh, that's our way of growing through stuff. And I think people equate growing through stuff as, like, being hurt and forgiving. And that's not the same thing. But I think when you grow together in a relationship and you evolve as partners, I think that makes your relationship way stronger than leaving, because you might leave and you might not be into the person you was with before because you done grew into somebody else. You didn't grow with them. You grew in a whole different direction, and now you're interested in different things. And
I see what you're saying. So you're saying sometimes that space, you're not even growing the relationship anymore. You're growing yourself.
You're growing on your own. And you might grow out of the relationship. Now, when you're growing together, we're talking daily. We're talking about what we're doing. We're discussing. We're communicating. So we know the pace that we're growing at, and we're evolving together.
Right.
And I'm not into that. Like, don't give me space. You give me space.
I'm going to be out.
You going to learn a thing or two.
But I actually want to go back to what you said, because now I'm thinking about it. You asked me, am I the type of person who believes in time heals all?
Yeah.
And then you brought up some stuff, too, about time and healing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit, I am that type of person. Because I think about, like, a lot of my personal relationships. They know Kyle, like, if something does get me, like, upset or I don't like it, or, like, I'm a Cancer, so I do need my time to recluse.
Ooh, yeah, emotional.
So I take my time. Like, they'd be like, yo, they already know, like, oh, Kyle's is gonna be gone for like 3 months, and he gonna come back.
But I think it depends on the person too, because you have some people who take time to their advantage because they don't want to apologize or address a certain situation, and then I feel like that's disrespectful. Like, you can't do something really terrible and then don't say anything for like 6 months, and then you're like, oh, it's over.
No, one thing about me is, like, as hard as confronting issues can be for me, confrontation I think is difficult for, like, anybody. But certain people are better at it. But I always like to be confrontational
and transparent.
Yeah, I like, even though it can be tough depending on the situation. As hard, especially if I know I'm in the wrong, I will take my pride aside, and I have to confront the issue, even though the conversation may be a little rough and it may be hard to express the emotions. But I feel like it's worth giving it a try, especially if you value the friendship or the relationship. I think it's important. But like I said, I just take my time. Like, if I see something that I don't like, and I just got to take my time just to, like, reflect and like, it's part of the Cancer. I just like to
figure out how to react too, because sometimes when we react too quick, it come out the wrong way. Now the person feeling more offended.
But how long does it take you to do that though?
It all varies. Sometimes it can be a week. Sometimes it can be 3 months. Sometimes it can be some time. But y'all all know about me. Like, in high school, I'm very, like, when I say something, it's
gonna come out the way it comes out.
Exactly. So that's why that's my way of kind of preserving my energy and making sure that what I say, I'm meaning it. Because there have been instances where I'm like, oh shit, okay, I went a little bit too hard, Okay. So yeah, with that being said, but going back to the conversation, we went through a lot. What do you think your headspace in general was in high school? Like, overall within those 4 years, like, what do you think your headspace was that may have,
I just wanted to get out.
That was.
I think it was a lot going on. You think about college, and it was just like my future. That's what I was thinking about a lot, and I didn't feel like that performing art school served me. Like, I knew there was so much more that I could do, but I just didn't feel like I had the resources. I felt like the resources that we did have, they were very selective in giving them out. Yeah, I just didn't feel like it served me. I was just ready to be done with it. Especially when I got to, like, my junior year, I was over school. I didn't like school. I didn't like my teachers. I didn't like anything about it. Like, I just went because I had to go. But
yeah,
it's crazy. I was telling her that too, because I remember the first week I went in, my instinct was like, get out.
Yeah,
get out.
It was like, get out. But I had ran into Bettina. Bettina was, like, someone who I knew from middle school, so I kind of felt like home. And then everyone was, like, convinced me, like, yo, Kyle, stay. And it ended up being like, now that I reflect, I was really miserable. Like I was.
It's a dark cloud over that school. I don't know if it's just me, but
No,
like even if I pass it nowadays, it just feels really dark and heavy. Like
And
I don't know.
I think that's like you said, it affected everyone's energy in some shape, some way or form.
I wonder if that school used to be something like. Oh, it did used to be something,
it was
right?
it was like a factory
yeah,
or
that's
some
why
shit.
it was so depressing.
I thought it was an old school town hall building, right?
No, it was some slaves in there back in the day.
Oh Lord,
I would have been faster, you know.
But you know what? I think what really put a bad taste in our mouth is when we went to audition for the schools, and we like, all right, we're going to audition, and we go up and we walk up those flight of stairs. We think, okay, it's like this whole big school, and it's like 2 floors. 4x4 rooms.
That
and
was
like,
also the problem too. The space it was like small. It was very small. We was way too cramped.
Think straight with all them people around you. It's hard.
He was right on top of you.
We was right on top of
everybody will hate each other. Y'all like this,
right? It's like you had to pass by niggas in the hallway and like bump shoulders.
Oh gosh!
Or you had to wait.
That had to be like a health hazard or something.
It definitely was. I'm surprised that school haven't shut down yet. Like we literally on a roof. Yeah.
People still like right now. People go there.
People still go there.
I'm calling the lady.
The only thing I would say, you know, we could talk a whole bunch of shit about repertory, but the only thing I would say, the way it was located, I think that was great because it allowed you.
It was toxic. I'm not gonna lie.
It was toxic.
I got drained seeing fucking Muppets every single day.
But it's like,
we was on 42nd.
Why would you want to go to school? You're on 42nd Street. There's so much other stuff to do. Like I think it makes you want to spend money.
Makes you want to cut school.
Makes you want to cut school.
That's why I wish we would have done
more.
That's
why I was
we should
always
have
late.
cut school more.
I was always late.
Oh yeah, let me tell you something about Egypt.
Don't start my business.
Egypt is really that Harlem girl who comes to school late. She comes dressed fly as fuck. She comes third period with a whole breakfast and just go sit in the back room, listen to music, and then when the teacher say something, she get mad. So that's Egypt for you.
But you know what? Speaking of that, I want to know, what was each other's first impression? I'm going to tell you my first impression of Egypt. When I first see Egypt, she had like a different pair of, what's them sneakers called? Them Skies. The Jeremy Scotts, the little teddy bears on there. I'm like, yo, how many pairs she got? And then, like, I come out and she be loud on the street. I'm like, yo, who this girl? Mind you, I think you came in the beginning or middle semester, right?
I came like the second or third month freshman year though, but it was like the second or third month. Like, I had been in here.
But when you came, you automatically made an impression. Like, the thing is, with your presence, you're so high energy, and your energy is so bold that, like, you literally you grab the focus of everybody.
Right.
That was my first impression of Egypt. Loud. Outgoing, respectfully loud, outgoing, and a fashionista. Yeah. But I felt like you was very adaptable too, because I'll see you in different environments and you'll see a whole different side of Egypt, and I'm like, oh, it's like a lot more to this girl.
Right. I get the same sense, like you said. I would say loud because even your sense of style is loud. Like people want to come in, they're gonna see like, hey, you wear colors, you love glitter, you know, you just like. Very like you're very eccentric, you're very much an Aquarius, and like you said, you have a very like a strong personality. And I think that a lot of times that was probably why you kind of came into conflict a lot of times, because my sister's an Aquarius too, and it's something about, you know, the presence and, like I said, your boldness that can, you know, rub people the wrong way sometimes. Even though, like, I know
I'm aware.
Yeah. But like I said, you just like, you was like a Harlem girl. Like that's what my first impression. You like you said, colorful, like stylish, funny, and you always, like I said, you always came in eating good.
Eating good.
My first impression, I think Kyle, you came like what, sophomore year?
Yeah, that was the second year. Yeah.
I was terrified because you were so quiet. You didn't want to speak to nobody, and in my head of heads, I'm like, he's gonna speak to me. Because I didn't understand, like Leah said, like I spoke to so many different groups of people, right? So I was just like, why is he not letting me in? It upset me, honestly, because I was just like, what's the problem? Like, everybody like me. I'm kind of likable. Right. So I think it was kind of like a mission of mine, low-key, to get you to talk to me. And I don't remember when I kind of broke the shell.
I don't know yet.
But it just broke. And then next thing you know, we was running from bomb threats and stuff out the class together.
Right, with Bobby. Remember Bobby?
Oh, God, what happened?
One day, Bobby was in class and he got upset. He got in trouble. And he went to reach in his book bag, and me and Kyle was in the hall.
And you know, Bobby was a cool dude, but we just made sure that we was on his good side.
I seen that movie before. We had to go.
Yeah.
What movie was it, though?
I don't know.
Was it? Well, no, you know what? And then they had that whole meme, like, turn around. They used to say that all for Bobby.
Was just always like, he would just click out, like, and we was just like, no. And I remember, like, he did it, and I looked at Kyle looked at me, and we was like, round it up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's where y'all came in.
What was your impression of
Leah?
Egypt? Leah, sorry.
I don't remember. I think I met you my sophomore year. I think I met you because we weren't in the same class until sophomore year. And I was like, oh, she's pretty. That was my first thing. I was like, oh, she's pretty. You know the Mycene dolls? Remember the Mycene dolls? They weren't brass. They were Mycene. And they like always shopped and stuff. And they were really, really pretty and had like chinky eyes. And I was like, she looks like a Mycene doll. And then, I started speaking to her. And I was like, oh, she's fun. She's quirky like me. Like she's cool. And then we kind of just clicked. And then we were just friends till we wasn't friends no more.
Right.
So like, what was your relationship like? Like,
it got personal. Like, these were my family and stuff.
Right.
Like,
I was gonna say, we was both from Harlem, and I ain't gonna lie, like, that was big to me because it's like a certain energy. Like,
it wasn't that many people in Harlem.
It was like an unspoken bond. Like, we had to be friends. It was like, all right, I see you. And then we just got really tight. Like, I remember Leah being at, like, cookouts and stuff, and I remember going to her house. I think it was, like, your birthday or something. Yeah.
We was just, I think we would, honestly, I can speak for myself. I think we was just petty at the time. But I wouldn't even say petty because I remember, like, literally, I didn't know why we stopped talking. Like, Kyle, we was just talking, and I was like, oh, shit. Like, I was like, oh, that's why. I think it was one day I came in, and I was just, like, to myself. I was tight about something, and I wasn't addressing anybody. And, you felt the type of way after that. And after that, we just stopped talking because it was like, all right, you're not giving me energy. I'm not giving you energy. Right. But also, it was like, you don't know what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's why it's so important to have a conversation because you could be at two different spaces, you mad at each other, don't even know why y'all mad. And then, all of a sudden it's like time goes by and it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what
and that's what it was.
But I never had like anger in my spirit for you. I was just confused. And I think that's what it annoyed me that I was confused because I'm like, I ain't do nothing to her.
We didn't even have
we never had a conversation about it. Like, it was
crazy.
Just, okay.
Before we move on, I just want to say the reason why I was quiet because everyone thought I was scary. I think the reason why people thought I was scary because that boy the year before he came, right?
Oh God, I know.
And he ended up killing his mom.
Oh,
he ended up. I remember last year.
Actually,
let's not say no names.
We're not gonna say no names, but
he's fine.
People come on saying, I remind
you. He is fine.
He's still fine to the day. Y'all ain't see his prison pictures?
You gotta show me.
No.
Oh, he looks amazing.
All right, show me
my
after the show. But I was really quiet because I'm just naturally like that, especially when I'm in a new space. I was like scoping out everyone's energy and just like figuring out, okay, this is this person, this is that person. I think that's why I gel well with people.
You had body parts in your book bag.
I did not have no body parts. I promise. Now, I want to ask you. So, like, just like through high school and coming into your 20s, like, how has that shaped you now?
Well, I graduated high school early because I got skipped when I was really young. So I graduated high school. When we graduated, I was like 16, turning 17. I had just turned 17. So I was still really, really young when we graduated. So I was still kind of trying to just figure it out. But I just knew I didn't like working for people and stuff like that. So I think I just took that time to really learn myself and learn what I liked and what made me happy, but also made me money at the same time.
Right.
And I went through a lot of just finding myself and just building myself, and I kind of just built a name for myself over time. But I think I went through my growing pains more so after high school than I did in high school. Honestly.
Was that like going through college? And...
It was just figuring it out, like figuring out adulthood really, and you lose people that mean a lot to you, and then you give up on certain things, and you're trying to find out what you really want to do, and it's like you're out of high school now, so this is the real world. Like, you have to make all these decisions matter, and it was like intense because, like I said, I was still like 17, so it was stuff I couldn't even do yet on my own until I was 18. So it was like it just felt like it went by really fast. Like, I felt like my first 3 years after high school was just flying by me. And then when I woke up, I was like 21, and I was like, oh, okay. What's happening here?
Right. I feel just like that for me too. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a blur. Like, you go into college and you figure out if that's what you really want to do. And I left after a semester. And I was trying a lot. And I was working different places. And then I started working. I was working at Urban Outfitters. And then I started styling at Donna Karan. And then I just started doing all this different stuff and trying to do whatever made me happy. And during that time, I also did a lot of acting. That's why I would do like a lot of extra work. Yeah, I was just doing a lot.
So do you feel like, I know you're very big on fashion. I know that since the day you walked in.
Do I feel like I was slighted in the yearbook with my fashion award? Absolutely.
Listen. I'm gonna agree on that. I'm not
because they wanted me to share it, and I feel like Miss America don't share it. But listen.
If it was going to be shared, it should have been between you and Dejan.
I feel like it should have been me.
So wait,
I love you, Deja.
But no. If it was one person, it would have been you. But if they had to share it,
if it was gonna be a male and a female,
remember they shared, Because me and her shared.
Like
me and you shared what?
We was most sarcastic. And now look at us.
If it was male and female, absolutely, I would get that. Yeah. But literally just making me and it was a Kiki.
So you did share it with Dejan?
No, they didn't. It was
Exactly. You don't even remember her name.
No, don't do that. Because she's a sweet, beautiful girl.
I need to know to see if this is
Arlena.
justified. Arlena?
Yes, remember Arlena?
Oh,
sweet, beautiful,
her style was cute, but I feel like that
I didn't share with anybody. I told them to give it to her and not to put me in the yearbook. And they put my name, but I didn't take the picture.
Oh, I see.
Because I was not doing that.
Yeah, but
she was a very pretty girl.
Very pretty.
She was pretty,
girl.
but that wasn't her award.
I think Modern Icon was more stylish. So
exactly.
That's it.
Yeah. So with that being said, like your style and your fashion, your love for that, do you feel like it has influenced like all the work that you do now? Because I know you wear like many hats.
Yeah.
But I think they all kind of go into like the creative lane.
Does it influence it? I think it influences my brand, like my brand of myself more so than anything. Because that's what a lot of people know me as, or they remember something I had on, or like now with social media and me, like, getting more widespread, like when pages post me and stuff, a lot of my followers come from posts that they may have seen like a fashion page or something.
I feel like you don't post enough of your drip. Like I feel like you need to post more, like of your outfits and stuff.
That's true.
Right.
I think I just like to give myself in spurts. I like people to miss me. I don't like to, give too much and people just like, oh, okay, I see you all the time. I like people to like see me like, when they see me, it's a big thing because they miss me so much.
So like I said, you have many things you do. Like, so I know you do creative directing, brand. I would like curating.
Brand curating, marketing, building. Curating is
I wanted to ask, you said that you was working on a project called Fetch Technology or Fetch Tech.
Yeah.
Can you explain for the viewers and to me what is that and what is the courses that was inside those?
Okay, so Fetch Tech is my one-on-one computer course. It's a computer graphics course, so it basically teaches because I'm coding now. I learned how to code websites. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still, it's still more than like everyday coding.
That is
a big spectrum.
For real.
But I do code. So when I started doing that, and I've always made my own websites and graphics for the most part. And in the midst of me doing my brand calls during the pandemic, it was always like, they would always ask me, can you do my website for me? It helped me with my website. So now Fetch Tech allows me to teach people one-on-one how to build their own basic e-commerce website or anything they really want to do. And I kind of teach them the basics of like a home page. There's 2 packages. There's a basics and then there's an upper echelon, which is clearly way more knowledge and more things you could learn. Mm-hmm. But it basically teaches you how to create your own website so you don't have to pay somebody else to do it because you got to think about it when you're especially having a brand, you're always changing, you're adding product. And when you're paying somebody to do that, you have to pay them every time you want to add an item. You have to pay them every time you want to change a color on your website. Mm-hmm. And if you're able to do those things yourself, you save so much money. And I think I saved a lot of money being able to do my own websites and graphics. I saved thousands of dollars, literally.
What made you want to like learn coding? That is just so like interesting.
Doing my own websites, and I wanted to do more. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to just use templates. Like I wanted it to be more intricate and go more into depth. And I really got into it when I did my blog website because I didn't like the layout. Thank you.
Your blog is still active?
My blog is still active.
Shout it out for us.
Yes.
It's TheModernIcon.blogspot.com. Stay tuned. Follow the Melanin Confessions page on Instagram because there's something really, really, really big coming in August on the Melanin Confessions. And I can't talk about it yet, but it's something really big coming on there. So, So when I was doing that website, I just wanted it to look a certain way. And I didn't want to pay nobody to do it. And I just started teaching myself. And I just got some books and I started, signing up for courses to learn how to code. And
that's dope because tech is becoming like such a huge thing, especially Black girls in tech.
Right.
And Black people in tech in
that's
general.
Why we love to hear this.
Dope. Yeah.
Are you thinking of, I already know you're always going to try to grow because you're a person that always seems like you want more.
Yeah.
Are you going to still, go into technology and try to build more of that craft within the technology side?
As long as I have the time.
Say that one more time.
As long as I have time. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to do anything as long as I have time.
Speaking of time, you got a kid now too, so
I'm
time is a little bit different.
Right?
Yeah, I got my baby. My heart.
How old? Yeah, go.
Well, how old is your baby?
He's 1.
1 year old. How did it feel like raising? This is your first child.
This is my only child.
Your only child.
I'm not having no more.
Ooh.
I hear that. Yo, listen. I tell people that I don't have kids, but I have a whole bunch of siblings, and
well, I'm lying. I might have another kid. I'm not going to say never.
She definitely is having another child. Since she's even thinking about it, she's going to have another child.
Okay. Yeah.
He said, "Okay, that's
right now, you're just holding it down with this one."
Yeah.
But how was that experience for you?
Pregnancy or just like
in general, like the experience of just becoming a mother.
It was terrifying. It was terrifying because with me being able to do so many things and being an entrepreneur, with entrepreneurship, you start and you stop when you feel like it. And being a mom is the only job that I can't quit.
Right.
It's the only job that I can't be like, I don't want to do this today. Like, I have to do it. It's intense. It's a lot of pressure because this person depends on you to make them laugh, cry, feed them, bathe them, like everything. I'm his person. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like intense because he looks to me for everything. So it's,
So like going into that book, when you became pregnant, did you have a question, whether or not if you want to go through with it? Did you feel like it was going to hinder, your ambitions?
I questioned it, not because I felt like it was going to hinder. I just didn't want no kids.
Right.
And I was always the person that people ask me, I'd be like, I'm not having no kids. They be like, oh, how many kids you have? I'd be like, none.
Team fuck those kids.
I didn't know you cursed. Yes, I was team F them kids. Yes. So when I found out, I was like, ooh, you got me. I was shocked. I mean, I knew what I was doing, but I was shocked nevertheless. I thought I was God's favorite. I ain't know. And I was just like, ooh. Because, always when you in your head, you're like, if I ever have a kid, I'm just get rid of it. And it's going to be whatever it is. But
when it actually happens.
When you actually have the kid in you, it's just like, shout out to my nurse. Because as soon as I found out, she was like, you want to hear the heartbeat? And I was like, no. She was like, boom, boom, boom. And I was like,
oh my God.
Well.
She's like, you going to hear
That's
it.
what got you.
Yeah,
That's
I was
what
like,
got you.
Can't really. All right, I guess I'm having a baby. So, yeah. But I'm happy because he's so cute in the door. When I love him.
Can we share his? You want to share?
Royal, yes, his name is Royal.
Egypt and Royal. That's like the
That's
perfect
beautiful.
match.
Yes.
Do you have any advice for young mothers?
Don't. Well, it's so crazy that you said, because I think a lot of people always think like I'm super young, right? So I'm 24 now, and when people find out that I had a kid, they will always be like, "Oh my God, little Egypt is having a baby." I'm like, y'all, I'm about to be 25, but I'm still, relatively young.
Yeah.
Advice, I will always say, kids don't ask to be brought here. So whatever you're feeling, any emotions you're feeling, make sure that you never project that onto your child. Just feed your child love, speak life into them. Just make sure you have a great support system and your village is strong. And don't give up on your dreams, when you have a kid. Your life is not over. They're not going to be small forever. There's so much for you to do with your kid. Like my son is modeling, you know what I'm saying? I manage him. So it's so much stuff to do with your kid, and it doesn't stop you, you know what I'm saying? I'm here and I have like my child. So you just have to find, ways to be able to still follow your dreams and have a child, but don't give up on yourself because you have somebody that's dependent on you now. And you want your child to look at you and be like, my mom did that shit.
Right.
Like my mom is a boss. That's how I want my son to look at me. Like my mom is a boss. So just make sure you still do whatever makes you happy after you have your child.
You did mention village.
Village, right?
Yeah, and like what does that look like for you? Like, how important is a support system, and what is your village now? I know your mom.
Yeah.
You and your mom remind me of Tiana Taylor and her mom. So, like, what does that look like? How has I know your mom is a big part of that. Like, what is your village? How important is it to have a village?
My village is super important. It's super important for my son to be surrounded by love. I just want him to live in love all the time. Like, I don't want him to know what anything else feels like besides love. And the people that I have around him, and his uncles and godmothers and just everybody, they love him just as much as I do. Even sometimes they love him a little bit more, and I want to pick him up. They pick him up. He don't do no wrong in their eyes.
Right.
And I think he feels that, and it was just very important for me to have people that I could trust. I know, God forbid anything happens to me today, that he would be okay. And those are the people that I surround him with. It's dope.
You got a good system.
Yeah, my village is strong.
So, from like what I've been reading, you watch a lot of crime stories, serial killer stuff. Why are you so intrigued with serial killers? I need to know.
That again, like I said, that must be an Aquarius thing. My sister's like that too.
I just always been into it. I just like the way people think. I think it's more so a mindset thing for me, like to just see the headspace of people and how they think and how they come up with these things. I'm not watching it for any tips on how to kill anybody. I'm just for all the police watching. I am not watching it on tips to kill people, but it's just really intriguing to me, like just how they think and their mindset. Yeah. And like sometimes, for me, I overanalyze everything, and I could be in public and see somebody, and it's crazy because those be the people that look really like. Cut you up and you don't even know it, and it's so interesting because now when I see people, I'm like, oh my God, they could be a serial killer.
That's what I'm saying.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
I was on the phone with Lee. I said, like, it must be a crazy because my sister, she's very cautious of her surroundings. So I feel
Yes.
like the way you say, like,
I think everybody's trying to kidnap me. Let's start there. Everybody, every Uber driver, I think everybody's trying to kidnap me. Like, one wrong, don't turn off what this GPS said.
But you know what? You speaking to something like how you truly feel.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's paranoia. I just think there is a heightened level of crime in the the communities in general. So for you to feel unsafe or for you to be watching like crime stories like that, it makes you want to like let me see what their headspace was in. Also too, like I watched some show where it called like there be relationships and the partner would just switch up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That be scaring me because it's like people. I feel like people, you can't be like, oh, I know this person. I don't know who you are a year from now because you're going to go through a lot of different experiences that's going to shape your perspective and the way you think. So, it goes back to the conversation of relationships. Mm-hmm. Everybody, every situation has a reason and the perceptions that you lead and the way you communicate can change those perceptions. So do you have any advice for like people that are trying to figure out the best ways to communicate to people and the best way to show for other people and yourself?
Advice? Okay, well, I think communication is very important, but I think that you shouldn't monitor what you say. I'm a firm believer it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But certain things, there's only one way to say.
Yo, seriously.
And I think sometimes people don't say things because it's like, I don't want it to sound like this, but it's going to sound like that because that's what it is.
And that's why we're in a fucking cancel culture.
But but it's just like, that's how you feel. And I feel like people shouldn't feel bad about how they feel. And if somebody doesn't accept how you feel, then that's not your person. They're not for you. But I think that it's very important to just say how you feel. And a lot of people are scared to do that. They're scared of the consequences. But back to, everything happens for a reason. If that's not meant to be your person, then that's going to fizzle out regardless. But you'll feel way better getting that off your spirit than not saying anything. And then that's going to be on your spirit weighing you down. You're not going to sleep good at night. And I like sleeping good. So sometimes I say things because I got to cleanse my spirit. And as long as I know that I gave it to you the way I was feeling it, I'm okay.
Right.
To have you take it, that's between you and the Lord. But
and I feel like sometimes, like you said, sometimes there's no other way to say it but just to say it. Because sometimes, even if when you do say it and it may not fall right on people's ears, then that's how a conversation starts.
Right.
I don't like how you said that out, but
that's what it is for. It's a conversation. But that's what I'm saying. If you're not willing to have a conversation about it, then that just speaks volumes to you and how you feel about our relationship. That don't got nothing to do with me and what I said. If you feel a way about it, we could talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's something I'm learning along the way too. Because like I said, sometimes like I'm like I said, I realize that my voice is very powerful. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think all our voices are very powerful. Yeah. And sometimes I feel like people with powerful voices, they tend to like draw back or, because they know how powerful it can be and how people can perceive it. Yeah. But like I'm learning like, no, that's your power, Yeah. And like you said, if people love you and they fuck with you, like you said, when we gotta have a conversation about it, then we can move on from it. Like you said, if they gonna stick beside you regardless. All right, another fun fact about you. We got 2 more fun facts, all right? So we know that you love to travel and you love going to do different destinations. Mm-hmm. What are like your top 3 spaces you want to go to, travel to?
Thailand, Hawaii, London.
Very peaceful spots. London is like the opposite of, Thailand and Hawaii. London is always raining. Why London?
If you're going like in summertime,
it'll be fine.
I'm going to London to shop.
That makes sense.
Summer, spring. I want to go to like the black part of London.
I just want to go where the stores are.
I heard there's black people everywhere in London.
No, there's a lot of black people
there's
in London.
a particular like where you can find like the black population.
The community would be like, all right, this is my hood.
I think it's called Brixton.
Isn't that where Damson and just is from?
I was thinking of him as soon as you said London.
I want to meet his mom because you got to meet somebody's mom first for them to like you.
Right.
I want his mom to like me.
She plotting.
I'm going to meet his mother. And we're going to get
show
married.
some of your cooking.
Yeah.
And
she's going to call her son.
And then so he's gonna have to break up with his wife.
Damson Idris is not married. You think about Idris Elba.
Oh,
I'm talking about
I'm sorry.
Right.
We're gonna move on. Next question. All right. So I know also. So you're like a 10-year plus Sims player. I'm about to get back into it.
Welcome.
I want to know what is your relationship with Sims? How do you use it? Why do you love it so much?
I think when I was younger, I was the only child, so Sims was just like, it was time consuming. Right. I would play Sims and the whole day would be gone. And you don't even know how. And as I got older, I had to realize that it was time consuming. You can't do that anymore.
Right.
But it's peaceful. Like I don't smoke, so I
Right.
don't. It's certain things that I don't do, to really keep myself calm. But it's just like it's just peaceful for me, and
That's
it's
why I want it.
fun. Like you could just do so much. Like especially now, with so many add-ons and stuff. Like my Sims is fly.
You're gonna have to see a picture of this.
Yeah, my Sims is fly.
I also need to ask, because you 10-year Sims player, like, would you even play with the idea of going into the metaverse and doing all that extra, what is that, VR?
Yeah.
Virtual reality.
Virtual reality.
It's a little scary.
It is. That's why I want
It's
to know
a
your
little
perception.
scary.
Because
But
Because
Sims is
Sims
kinda
is like, but Sims is
normalized
like
it.
one level away from that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's like actually like putting myself in the game. I mean, I think about like Spy Kids Game Over.
I remember Spy Kids. I
yes.
don't remember
Game Over. That was like
They
the
enter
third
the
one, like the
game.
3D one. Yeah.
that was
And it's
good.
just like it's scary. I don't know. It just feels like I'm losing. Or like Ready Player One. I'm really into like sci-fi movies, so
You gotta get
yeah. But it's like I don't know. Like I really think like it puts me in that headspace of like kind of losing yourself in a
Yeah.
sense. I don't know if I'm ready for the metaverse.
Because you could really lose yourself with Sims.
Sims,
Not
right.
Yeah, I'm saying you won't lose yourself, but you
But
get
it's
lost
time
in it.
consuming.
You get
Yeah.
lost
So
in
it's like if I'm already like that, me actually being in the game is terrifying.
Yeah, that does sound, and it kind of like being like the goggles are on.
It's like your consciousness is kind of deferred. I don't know if I'm ready.
Well, the reason why I want to get back into Sims because I seen somebody on TikTok said they use it as a way of manifesting their life. So like I feel like
okay.
that's what my intention is going into
I'm
it.
thinking about doing like Sims content because you know why? I think
should.
people don't really people don't know that. Like y'all just told the whole world my business. So I think
the world got to know Egypt.
But and that's the thing, a lot of people like I always say like I'm too artsy for the hood, but I'm too hood for the artsy. If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
So people don't know those things about me. So I feel like if I do like Sims content, people are really gonna be shocked.
No, but I think that's great marketing too. And it works into your tech business, and all the outlets because Sims has so much different outlets and things that you can do with the mods and stuff. I'm learning about mods. What is mods? Can you explain that before? Yeah.
Okay, so mods are modifications to your game, and there's so many different mods, and it changes your game, and you can like.
I seen
do
somebody
cheat
like
codes
whooping
and stuff.
somebody's ass with a mod. Like they.
Yeah,
Now
I
you
don't
can whoop people's
have
ass
those
in
kind of
Sims.
violent mods in my game. We're a peaceful community.
Right.
But like I have like money mods to stuff. Like all my Sims are mad rich.
And you can like
they
braid
have,
people's hair, all types of different.
Yeah, like
mods,
that's like a hair salon mod. So it's each action has a different mod, but I really just do the money ones.
the money because you're all about the money.
Yeah, and I have like an entrepreneurship mod.
That's what you play
Oh
with that.
my
That's a
God.
brilliant
Yeah.
idea.
This
you
is
got
a lot.
low key. You kind of gave us an idea. I may have to play with that with TLKinfamous.
But I'm saying y'all could actually make your show in the game. Like you can make a set in your house.
You want to play with that?
I don't know. That's tempting.
That sounds fun.
Sell it as
can
an
do
NFT,
it.
right?
Great
And
marketing.
just add my Sims.
Got
Put
you.
my Sim on y'all couch.
I was
got
going to
you.
ask, you said, so with all the businesses that you have, you host or like create events? Because I know that you explain that more.
So I curate. I would say I'm just a culture curator in a sense, brand curator, event curator, creative director. It's so hard because people say, "What do you do?" I literally say everything because it's kind of hard to narrow it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, so events. I've done event planning. I did my son's birthday party. I did a few other events. I creative direct shoots. It's what it is for me really. When people have ideas, they call me. And they go, "Hey, I want to do this. And I go, "Okay, I got you." And then I just start putting it into position. I start curating, and that's just how it goes.
When was the first the event that you threw for your event planning?
My first event that I was starting to throw was actually my brother, my friend Naeem. He's a tattoo artist. I don't know if you guys seen him on Black Ink Crew.
Yes.
And he was having his 30th birthday party, so I started curating that, and I actually did a photo shoot for it for his invitations. And then COVID came, so we couldn't have the party, and it was going to be so amazing. It was like a 70s theme party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it got canceled because of COVID. So that was like my first event that I was really throwing. And then after that, I did an art show. Well, I curated a photo shoot, and then I did an art show for the photo shoot, which Kyle came to. And then after that, I've just been doing more photo shoots. I've been curating brands separately. Like during COVID, I did the brand calls, so I was doing one-on-ones with people and helping them curate their brands. And then most recently, I just did my son's first birthday party.
Wow. Well, congratulations to
Thank you.
starting that, even before the pandemic and even continuing after the pandemic, because I know
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of people lose motivation every time there's like a hole.
Yeah.
but to resume back and to continue doing other stuff and prosper
I
is
love the
amazing.
pandemic. I called it the bandemic
the band.
because you know in the house like you just have time to think. And I was just thinking of all
especially
the way
if you collect that unemployment. Some people got the PBP.
I wish I
be
did that
nice.
unemployment.
I didn't get no unemployment.
You know,
I wish.
Let me stop.
But let me before we end over, I just want to like give us some insight on other projects you have coming out like soon, because I know you got some things in the works. Anything that you can reveal, or you can just sprinkle, let us know what we got.
Oh Lord. Well, I currently have the Fetch pen as well, which is my nicotine-free vape pens. That has been going like way beyond my wildest dreams. That's been happening right now. I have Humble Hustle, which is coming really soon, which is my men's, women, and kids clothing line, so the whole family can be fire together.
Nice.
I'm rebranding. Like I said, I'm in my Egypt era, so it's for me. It's more so like I don't want to be conform to one thing. And me and Kyle had this conversation, and it's always like, you know, what do you do? Or do you do this? Do you do that? And I just feel like the Modern Icon is a brand in itself. I'm everything under that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just focused really on that, the Modern Icon, and everything is under that. People ask me, like, are you a content creator? Are you an influencer? You know, and I definitely feel like I'm an influencer, and I feel like people get it confused a lot with being an influencer and being popular on social media. They're two completely different things.
You're a natural influencer.
Yeah, it's two completely different things, because you could be popular with no influence.
Right.
Yeah, so you could have like 20,000 followers but can't sell a $20 product. But you can have 2,000 followers and sell 2,000 $20 products. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Shout out to the pink sauce.
she gonna sue you. So
She gonna get sued.
she's gonna get sued too. But so I definitely feel like, you know, like Leah said, I have influence, and I'm using that to my advantage now, and I'm helping so many people. And like after just seeing what I could do for others, I'm kind of now focusing back on myself, because I neglected my own brand in the midst of building everybody else's brand.
Right.
And I'm ready to just use my own ideas now. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just focusing on me, and I'm rebranding. I have so much coming. So just stay tuned to my social media. I'm not even telling nobody when I'm dropping. I'm on my Beyonce. I'm just dropping.
Period.
So
shout out your IG for them.
Oh, TheModernIcon. Or you could just put in the female Diddy.
That'll pop up.
And you have all your websites and links on your bio?
Yeah, I have a link tree. So it'll give you everything, me, from TikTok to Instagram to my websites to my brands to booking a brand building call with me, everything. And I'm doing stuff with my son too. He's a brand ambassador for 2 companies right now, and he's about to get his 3rd contract. So I've been a momager.
A momager.
Yeah, so that takes up a lot of time too. But yeah.
Well, thank you again, Egypt, for coming on to our show.
I heard that y'all was gonna have me back next season.
Yes, it's done.
It's done.
We love to like have people on that, you know, we create a relationship with, and as we grow, we want y'all to grow with us platform.
Nice.
Oh, that was cute.
Yeah.
That was cute.
But yes, be sure to follow us at TalkInfamous. You already know, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. It was great having you guys, and shout out to my co-host Social B.
And
thank you.
The Modern Icon.
Yes.
You know, I used to think it was TalkInfamous.
No, I mean, you know what? People always think that, but I'm not even mad at that issue, because we play into pop culture, so it kind of works.
Okay.
Say TalkInfamous or TLKinfamous.
Yeah.